I've been gone for a minute. I feel like it's really hard to try to like stick with a schedule when you have a crazy schedule for like work and like other things as family and friends and just yourself. You're just trying to do a lot of things, as in like take classes, learn Spanish, like just normal regular things, and like still stick with your hobbies, but then still read. But then if I'm not reading, I don't really have anything to post, and it's just a trickle-down effect to where making videos have been like a little, it's a struggle, not a little, it's a huge struggle, okay? And it was a lot easier for me when I didn't have my second job, but now that I do, I'm just trying to find the right time and the right way to navigate my time and to put it to good use. Cause it's like I want to stay up all night to read, but I have to go to bed early to go to work. So it's hard. Being an adult out here, alright? It's a hard life, okay? But I'm trying my best. So for the last 3 months, I haven't put out a wrap-up, and I noticed that, and I don't really like that. No, not at all. I want you guys to know about the books that I've been reading. If you watched my videos before my last wrap-up, which I think was in June, we are now in October. So it's been 3 months, and that's way too long, and I think a 3-month update on wrap-ups is due. It's not going to be a lot of statistics of what I normally like to do in my wrap-ups, because I'm kind of like putting 3 wrap-ups in one, and that's a lot of work. And I just want to make a video for you guys. I don't really want to go into the math and the details of everything. Just know I haven't really read that many books. I think for the 3 months, this is a good amount of books to be read. So with that being said, I've read 16 books in the last 3 months. Okay, 16 books. So it's kind of like 5 to 6 books a month. But I DNF'd 2, soft DNFs. Okay, so when they come up, just know it was a soft DNF. I do want to get back into it, and I can see myself enjoying it. I just don't think the time that I picked up those books was the time for me. So starting with the books in July, the first book that I have read is Beautiful Graves by L.J. Sheen. We're gonna stick with that one. Shin. There's no I. So Sheen. So Shin. What am I saying? I haven't did this in a while. It's like I'm nervous all over again. I don't know why. Anywho, this book was the first book I read in July, and kind of really disappointed. I guess it kind of set down the path of disappointment for the rest of that month. I thought I was really gonna like this book. I got this book in a blind book unboxing haul. The back was like giving, and then the book was not. I don't know really what to say about this book. I thought in the first 20 to 50 pages I was really going to enjoy myself, because I really enjoyed the beginning of the book. Somewhere down the line I was just losing my interest more and more, and I really couldn't just stick with this book. And it was an upsetting book, because normally I like books that kind of upset me, and books that like are controversial and that you get mad at the characters and the story, but like you're still just like, wow, that was a good book. I like books like that, but this book just was not that. It was just like I want to throw it out the window and then run it over with my car. The love triangle in this book was so disgusting. Because normally I would think I like this type of drama, but the type of drama this was, I was just so put off. And I already knew the big twist that was gonna happen, so the like last 50 pages was just so unnecessary to me. But I did end up rating this book a 2.5. The next book that I read was actually on my Kindle, and it was called I'm Her Mother. It was as an arc that I was reading it. It's probably out now, and it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed myself. It was very witty, and I was hooked, and I was very engaged with the whole story. A few bits and pieces started getting repetitive, but I think that's just something that happens with like mystery thrillers. They kind of like keep repeating things that they want to make sure you remember, or they want to make sure that you know, and it's just like, I know because you told me this 5 pages ago and 2 pages ago and on the last page that I just read. I really enjoyed the writing though. I thought it was very well written. I liked both of the FMC characters, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. I rated that one a 3.5 stars. It could have did a little bit better, but with everything that I was getting, I was happy with. And then the third book that I read in July is The Perfect Sun. These books have like dust all over it, because they've been on my floor for mad long. Anyway, The Perfect Sun by Frida McFadden. It's really not much to say about this book. It was an everyday thriller. Okay, it was just another thriller to me, and it was nothing special. There was nothing wooing me. It felt pretty predictable and bland to me, honestly. Especially in like retrospect to other Freida McFadden books, this one was like way low on my radar for her because we didn't really need this one. This energy and effort could have been put into another Freida McFadden book, if you ask me, in my opinion. Not much really to say about this one. I rated it I rated a 2.5. I rated this book, I rated this book a 2.5. Yeah, I don't really remember it at all, so I guess that's why I was rated a 2.5. So you see the route that July has just been taking me? This is not the best start. Probably why I didn't want to do a wrap-up to like dog all these books. And then the next book I read in July is a book that I actually loved and enjoyed, Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. Now this book, I remember this book. Okay, this book was So this book is a very sci-fi-ish book, and I don't read that many sci-fi books, which I need to stop. I need to start reading more sci-fi-ish books, because this book, I was so down bad for it whenever I had the chance. I was on break at work, sitting there trying to shovel food in my mouth while I'm reading. Normally, I don't read on breaks at work, but this book, I had to. It was like every minute that I can get is going towards this book. I'm still not certain if I had a blast reading this book because I don't read that many sci-fi books, so like the whole perspective of like the science and all that aspect was kind of new to me. I'm not really sure. Do I remember the names of the people? No, I don't. What I do remember is that this book is about how this lady who's a doctor has to get sent to this cruise ship to go, like pretty much be a psychologist, yes. So they sent this doctor up there to pretty much like make sure that the crew isn't gonna go crazy or get this crazy virus that pretty much turns people crazy, and make sure they're just doing okay because they had something happen on their ship that is not supposed to happen. The whole aspect of the science part and like the space and all the details that I got, I was really enjoying myself. It kind of felt like I was reading not a Stephen King book, don't get me wrong, because Stephen King, a whole different level over there, okay? But I'm talking about how it made me feel, like with the details and like the descriptiveness. But I really, really did love this book. I will rip and rave about it all the time whenever I can get a chance. It's not just a pretty cover, okay? It's not just a pretty cover, because it's really good. The inside is good too. The inside is pretty, oh no, it's pretty dark now that I think about it. But it's good. It's good. I rate this book a 4.5 stars. Definitely recommend this book. This book made my month, that's for sure. And then the next book that I read in July, which I think is actually the last book. So I only read 5 books in the month of July. So the last one is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. This book makes me smile every time I think about it, okay? Because I was in love. The second I even saw that they had a playlist for this book that you can actually go listen to, and it's like word for word the songs in the book, was so dope to me. So this book is a contemporary romance. I was eating it up. And it's not like a book like in Daisy Jones and the Six when you're reading the song and then like you watch the show and they're so different. No, every song was word for word. And it literally tells you like you shouldn't listen to the songs until you get to it in the book. So I was like, but while I'm looking at a song and like all the lines and stuff, I'll go play the song and I'm reading it with the song. And it just made the experience so much more cooler, okay? Let me stop with the songs because the songs just made my whole experience with this book, okay? I was like, I fell in love with this book because of that also. And also the characters, okay? Don't get me wrong. But I really did enjoy everything about this book. It might have been a little corny every now and then. It itched all the itches that I needed. And it just felt so fun and like kind of whimsical and still with like deep aspects of it and like deep life stuff that happens, but like I felt for every single character, even like the main girl. I felt for her because like something happened to you to make you this mean. You're not just this mean because you want to be. I rated this book a 4.5 stars and I honestly can't wait to continue the series, which I have. I own it now. So I can do that. So that ends our July reads, which was only 5 books. So the first book that I read for August, Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. And yes, I kind of really did buy this book just for the cover. Don't get mad at me, alright? It's such a pretty cover that I needed it, and I was just hoping the story was as good as this cover. A little bit let down, yeah. It's about these 3 sisters and brothers who mom passed away, and they are at the house and like trying to figure out what to sell and what not to sell and all this good stuff, and find tapes that kind of like open secrets or open doors to secrets that were hidden away and like all that stuff. I don't really remember, but I kind of remember. I feel like the books that I just don't remember, that's how you know it's like, oh, she didn't really like that one. I feel like it took me so long to read this book. How long? It took me like 2 weeks. And it's a short book. It's like 200 pages. Well, what did I say about this? I literally wrote, because I'm looking at my notes to try to remember like these books. I feel like the books from last month I'm gonna like talk about real quick. But I literally wrote, but to have a book be so short, less than 250 pages, and feel so long, kind of killed it for me. Yeah, and it wasn't even like, the writing was good, that's how I'm still confused. It wasn't even like the writing was horrible, but it was just, it was going nowhere, it felt like the whole time. But then you knew the ending of the book, like when the book started. Like, maybe that's just in my perspective, because I'm kind of, you know, I'm witty up here, you know, I'm a little smart or something. So I kind of knew the ending of the book 10 pages in. And then this is also another book by the same author that I read that I just wasn't fully enjoying. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be giving Geneva Rose another shot, you know, in my library, because like, why get a book from an author that I know just doesn't hit for me? I might still, you know, get one of her books on Kindle, but I'm probably never gonna buy a physical copy of her books again. And it's sad to say, because I've never done that to an author thus far, but she is a person I've read multiple books by. I don't really know what to say on that one. I rated this book a 3. That's better than 2.5. So I guess I did kind of enjoy myself, but not fully enough to even really remember it. I just bought this book for the cover. And the next book, back to Happy Place. The next book that I read in August, which I am so excited to talk about, One Piece. I can't believe that I am finally getting into mangas. Honestly, I didn't see this version of myself. I thought maybe comics, because I do enjoy myself some like X-Men and things like that. I didn't think mangas was gonna be my life, but it is. And I wouldn't change this life for any other. This whole series has has my heart like tied up in little strings somehow, and I'm just falling harder and harder for it. Like the rope is getting tighter and tighter, and I just can't stop now. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm on until the ending, but just know I have like 3 more books waiting to be read. I really wasn't expecting myself to love this manga as much as I do, which I'm not mad at, because I'm like finally into a world where I can just read a series whenever. Like, I'm never gonna forget, because it always like gives you little updates in the beginning, so you're never gonna forget the story, and if you do, it's okay, because it picks up right back where you left off. All the characters that are joining his pirate gang is so cool and so smart to think of, and I just love these people so much, and they're not even real people, and these drawings are incredible. Okay, it feels like I'm actually watching the show, where now I can look back at that, because I watched the first 3 episodes like last week, and it's literally like 1 for 1. Everything I'm seeing in this is literally on the show, which is actually insane. On my little notes, I kind of just wrote it that I just can't wait to start the next book, which I already did, so that's kind of pointless. But in all, this whole manga I rated 5 stars. 5 freaking stars. It is so good. Don't ask me why I started off with the longest manga like ever in the world first. But I did, and I'm not mad at it, okay? Because hey, what was gonna happen was gonna happen, alright? And I think I picked the best one in my opinion. I've been talking so much, I was like, I need something to drink. All I've been doing is for like the last 30 minutes. Very good indeed. Oh, and guys, I got a new tattoo. And it's very bookish. It's very, very bookish. I honestly love it. It's so me. Anywho, I just wanted to share with you guys that I got a bookish, my first ever bookish tattoo. Anyway, that's how you can know, like, I'm deep. I'm deep in this, okay? I'm not going anywhere. The next book that I read in August is The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. I remember what happens, but it kind of upsetting me thinking about it, because the way I was like so hyped up to read this because other people were hyping it up so much, at least in my little forums that I'm in. People were hyping this book up a lot. I'm not 100% sure why. I did enjoy myself. It was like spooky and like very, very dark and weird. But I think it was still pretty good. It was written very well. I still had moments in this book where I was just like, what the heck is going on? But the chalk hole aspect, I felt lost me. I didn't really even know why it was really called The Chalk Man to begin with. The part of the chalk was so much in this book that I felt like it wasn't used to its full advantage, and I'm just confused about it. But this is a mystery thriller. I rated it a 3.5 stars. It was better to me than The Home Is Where the Bodies Are. Clearly, I rated 0.5 more. But it was a good mystery thriller. Not too crazy, not too shabby. And then the next book that I read, or I guess I should say listened to in the month of August, because I really did listen to this entire book over audio, okay, is Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. Now, if I read this book, she's a thickie. This is also a reason why I picked her to listen to. If I read this book, I probably would have DNF'd it, and I can't say if it would have been a soft DNF or hard DNF. I have no idea, but I probably would have DNF'd it. But listening to this book was so entertaining. I had a blast listening to this, okay? I definitely recommend. I wish I listened to the first book now, and I might just listen to the last book. Honestly, I might not even buy it. I don't know. I might buy it just to finish the series off on the shelf. But I might buy it and never touch it. It will never be like this. I definitely felt more for the characters in this book, especially listening to them. I rated this book a 3.75. I'm definitely going to finish the series, I believe. So the next book that I read, or tried to read in August, is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I know. So many people love this book. I started to love it, but then around page like 50, it was like a struggle to keep reading. Like I couldn't focus. I was thinking about anything and everything else I possibly can to not read the book. But I honestly just don't think it was a time for me. This love story was really cute and I was kind of falling for it. But it's just the writing wasn't keeping me there, which is really weird. I still have my bookmark. I literally stopped on page 48. So whenever I do feel like finishing or reading a contemporary romance, I will pick this book up again. But for now, it's gonna stay in my soft DNF pile, which is like the pile of 1 and 1. Because I don't really DNF books like that, so which is really unfortunate because this is my first time reading an Ali Hazelwood book all together in general. So hopefully I can get back to it because I don't want to just like ex-nay Ali Hazelwood out my life, honestly. And then the last two books that I read in August is Ignite Me and Restore Me, which I already have a whole video about these two books. So I'm not going to go into too much details. I'm going to just say I love these two books, especially this one, okay? I was going through it in this book, alright? I was having a great old time, I must say. And so much information. Like I feel like I learned so much in this book versus like this book, and like there wasn't like much fighting and stuff. It wasn't much action, but it was like mental actions. It's like going on with me in this book. It felt like I was actually really starting to like feel the characters and be one with these characters. This book was still just like meh. Now this is where it started getting good. I can only hope that my reaction for the 5th and last book will be just as good or even better than this one. I rated this book a 4 stars and I rated this book a 4.75 stars. I ended off the month strong. And then I started off my September reading Maybe Not, which is the novella between Maybe Someday and Maybe Now. I had mixed feelings. I really did enjoy it. It did feel kind of unnecessary, but I enjoyed that we had the side characters like Warner and his girl, which I am forgetting her name. Did I write her name down? I literally wrote his girl. So I have no idea what her name is, but it was just nice to know like their relationship and how they bonded and how they became a situationship. So I did appreciate the background of that book, and it was kind of cool to see from his perspective how he was looking at our main character from Maybe Someday. I'm now forgetting her name. Forgot her name, but it's fine. It's fine. But either way, I thought it was a cute novella. I still wasn't interested in Warner's and her relationship, like at the end or anything, but it was cute to just know their background a little bit. I rated that book a 3. And then the next book that I read in September was volume 4 through 6 of One Piece. Okay, I really am enjoying this manga, as I said before. Since I already talked about it, I'm not gonna go into too much details, but this one was really good. But I just be giggling with Luffy and all the crazy things that he be doing. I like it like this book is such a good time, and all the people that they're adding onto the story, it's just they're all just fun good times. And like the villains or the bosses that we're trying to beat at the end of the book, it's like it makes me want to just keep reading the next book as soon as possible, which I truly enjoy. I'm gonna really enjoy this story and this show, honestly. I see it happening. I rated this manga also a 5 stars. So, and I can see me reading like 1 or 2 mangas per month, at least knowing that One Piece is never going to fail me with a 5 star. Okay, so far, I don't know about you, but so far, I don't think it's gonna fail me. I think every time I read a One Piece book, it's gonna be a 5-star rating. Hopefully. We can only hope, right? And then the next book that I read, I need to like look at my Kindle because I actually forgot the name of it, which is sad, very sad. So the next book I read was The Trials of Lilia Dalton by L.J. Shepard. Now, I only got 19% in, and then I soft DNF'd it. It is an arc that I was supposed to be reading, but I don't know if it was just not the time for me or if I just wasn't feeling the story. I'm not so sure. I just know that that was not it for me right then and there. I am going to try to read it again and give it another shot. The storyline is basically a lawyer who lost all her memories, and she doesn't even know who she is or why she's here, why she's in the courtroom, or who the heck she's representing. So that automatically caught my interest. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. The first few pages was good, but then something just fell off for me. So I just don't think it was the time. I think so much was happening in that moment of like, or that week or the day that I was reading that book. So I soft DNF'd it. But the book that I picked up next, I actually read it on my Kindle, but I have the physical copy, is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Wilmingham. This is like a mystery thriller horror. I don't even think it really goes into horror. I think it was more mystery thriller, honestly. But like, I've been hearing so much about this book, and I thought it was gonna like wow me, and it didn't. I don't know what's up with the thrillers I've been picking lately. Like, they're not like wowing me as I really would want, and we're gonna need to change that because it's fall. We are in October. Okay, like that's all I want to read right now is horror and mystery and thrillers, and you know, maybe throw in a fantasy every now and then, but that's kind of all I really want to read. So I'm gonna try to do a lot better in my picking because this is not good. We're not gonna lay to rest like this. Okay, I must say, we're not gonna do this to ourselves. All in all, it was an alright book. I rated it a 3.5, so it had something going for it. It was okay for a mystery thriller, but did I think it was one of the best that I've ever read? No. And then the last book that I read in September, which I was really excited to get into, okay, and it just came out recently, and I was so excited, but then I don't know what's up with me lately. I really don't. I read The Housemaid is Watching by Freida McFadden. I think I need to go on like a Freida McFadden like ban for a little while to like stop reading some of her books because I don't know, maybe they're just throwing me off of mystery and thriller. I don't know what's going on. Before I say anything like totally negative, it was a fun read, okay? It was really fun to watch like Millie and Enzo's life together and how like they evolved from everything else that's been going on in the last 2 books, and see them have kids and have a house and like all this fun stuff. It was really fun to see that character development. It was just also hilarious to me that a person who, I don't want to give too much away for the people who read it, but it was just kind of hilarious that like she just didn't get it. And I was just like, how does she not get it? Do you get it? Do you know what I mean? Because she didn't get it. She didn't get it at all. But I did appreciate this book and what it did give me. Okay, I wasn't mad at it. I was just like, what are you doing? This is hilarious. Like, come put the pieces together. But it was fun to watch them grow and have these children. And I think, I don't know why, but I have a feeling there's gonna be another book that's gonna come out with the housemaid. It might be like, you know, like her daughter or something. I don't know why. I just have this feeling. Okay, I don't know. I just can't shake the feeling that I'm having. But I think it is gonna like continue. I don't think it should. I rated this book at 3.5 stars. So all in all, for the last 3 months, I have read 16 books. Okay, 16. There's 14 copies in my hand and there's 2 on Kindle. So I think all in all, for the 3 months that I have kind of went ghost on my wrap-ups, I think this is pretty good. No matter what, you know, it's always like, people always try to be like, oh, I read 10 books this month, I read 25 books this month, but just read however much you can read and whatever makes you happy. Okay, don't be like me and trying to read books that you're like, why am I reading this? Which I'm trying to be better at, okay? So to have even 2 soft DNFs in this pile is actually pretty cool. 2 years old me would not have done that. I would have just pushed through and suffered. So don't suffer through your books. Read what you want to read when you have time to read them. Okay, so yeah, these are all of my books that I've been reading since July. I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update. I feel like I haven't did any wrap-ups. I think I already said this. I haven't did any wrap-ups in the last 3 months and I just felt really, really bad. And I wanted to do a video and I have the next 3 days off. So let me know if you guys read any of these books that I have read and how you felt about them. And let me know if you're reading a manga. That's super exciting. Tell me what manga down below. And yeah, I'm gonna go now. But I appreciate you so much. I hope I get to see you or you get to see me in another video. Later. I miss saying that so much.